Welcome back, guys, to Day of Survival. This is Indo Commando, and let's continue from where we left off last time. Last time we left off at Kiev. We met the men, we met the investigator, Pavel Gorilov, and he told us to come meet him at the Survivors base. So let's go to the Survivors base, Gorinichi. The people who live in Gorinichi hunt, grow vegetables and wheat, and also regularly send search parties into the ruins of Kiev. Most of the residential buildings didn't survive the war, so the refugees have made their home in the school, kindergarten, community center, and even the clinic. Let's look around and talk to the locals. By my estimates, around 50 people live in Gorinichi. The inhabitants all refused to talk to me for one reason or another, so I didn't get any useful information out of them. But then my luck changed and I met a very sweet girl called Lilia. Let's go to Lilia. Hello, I heard you were a traveler, and I thought, well, could you help me next? 3 years ago, I escaped from our town with my parents. We were looking for a safe place. Next, we were already close to Tumen when we were attacked by bandits. I was wounded and then fainted. I came to here in the base. They saved me. The people of Tumen. The people of Tumen. Tumen's a bit far away from Kiev. Okay, next. But they didn't find my parents. Now I live with Lydia. She is very kind to me, but I still miss my mom and dad. Next. In our old house in Teslinograd, there is a photo album with our family photos. Next. Help me find this album. With it, I could search for my parents in other bases. Next. Even if I failed, I could see their faces at least. I would have some memories. I can't imagine how much you suffered. Of course, I'll help you. Just wait for me. I'll bring you a photo album. Sorry, I'm too busy. I'm really sorry. I'll bring her photo album. But we have to see what Tesla grad is. Thank you very much. I'll be waiting for you. I'll be back soon. Let's go to the community center. Gorilov. Pavel Gorilov was waiting for me in the manager's office of the former community center. There was someone else in the room with him, a man in his 60s dozing in an armchair by the stove. When he saw me, Gorilov filled a glass of water, nudged the old guy awake, and gave him a pill to take. Next, here he is, make yourself at home, as they say, but first, allow me to introduce my friend. He is also keen on talking to you. Timofey Zaitsev. Timofey Zaitsev, former director of the Institute of Virology. Like me, he wanted to leave for Poland, but he didn't make it out in time. Next, Zaitsev. I heard the name and felt a spark of excitement. The director of the Institute of Virology. Looks like I'll get answers to all my questions now. Next, why so quiet? What did you want to talk to me about? I want to know about the scientists that were executed, about the epidemic that broke out simultaneously across the entire country, and about August 17, 1984. They are. The investigator and the director shared a silent look. Zaitsev frowned and was about to speak, but Gorilov gestured for him to stay quiet. He came closer to me and examined me from head to toe. They are. Why do you want to know? Will knowing change anything? It was so long after all. Even so, I want to know the truth. The truth? And just what will you do with this truth, drifter with no name? Tell it to everyone? That's my business. Alright, he linked his hands behind his back and started walking around the room. And what are you willing to do to learn this truth? Will you risk your life, for example? I've already been through a lot to get here. I've risked my life already. The former investigator chewed on this, shooting me a look from under his brows. It's a deal. You'll learn the whole truth, but first you have to fulfill your promise. My promise, what you're talking about, back in Kiev. You said you would help us deal with the wolves, so do it. Then we'll tell you everything. And what do you want from me? Nothing onerous. Just take part in the hunt. You probably don't know what happened here, correct? No, I don't know. These beasts, the black wolf, appeared in our lands around 3 years back. A she-wolf and 2 cubs, huge, black as night and blind. The first 2 years were peaceful, but then all the wild game was gone from the woods. Maybe the wolf caught rabies somewhere, or it was something else, but either way, they started hunting people. Next, we protected ourselves as best as we could, but they just grew in number while we lost more and more people. Last week they got into a house at night and mauled an entire family. We sent a whole squad to attack the beast, but not a single person returned. Next, we still have hope. All the wolves we killed have been males. That means if we kill the she-wolf, no new cubs will be born. Next, we can't delay any longer. The she-wolf is hiding in an old slaughterhouse. We are going to attack her there. This is our only chance to exterminate them for once and all. I see. But why don't you just burn the she-wolf along with the slaughterhouse or smoke out? We already tried. It's a no-go. So will you do it? If you help, you will be saving many lives and then we will tell you everything. If you won't, you have to find someone else. I mean this. This needs to be done. Those black holes are too dangerous. If you will be completely screwed otherwise, fine, I'm with you. No, I've seen those wolves and I know what they're capable of. I'm willing to risk my life, but what you are proposing, going into a den of a whole pack, that's straight up suicide, not a calculated risk. I mean this needs to be done, for the sake of the people. Excellent. Judging by your gear, you are an experienced fighter. So we'll better our chances with you on our side. When you are ready to hunt, get ammunition, food, and bandages, and move to the starting point. I'll be waiting there. We understand each other. Okay, we already read this. Let's go to a trader. Let's see if he has something useful for us. Cloth for fabric, iron pipe for lead, TT ammo for bryogram. TT ammo for bryogram. I don't need bryogram right now. Assault rifle pass for apple. Okay, I don't need any of that right now. But maybe in the future we will need that. Who knows what we'll need in the future. So let's leave this area. Where was I? Yeah, I needed to see where Taslinograd is. Where's Taslinograd? Okay, it's right here. The most southernmost city. It doesn't have a survivor base or anything. Is there. Okay, let's read the next note. Note number 56. When I left the community center, a bloodied black muzzle swam up before my mind's eye. I recalled my previous encounters with black wolves. I had got the better of one once before, but this wolf wouldn't be alone, and animals tended to be more ferocious than usual ever in the mother. Plenty of people wouldn't be coming back from this hunt. Maybe I wouldn't make it back either. But I didn't feel any fear. It was another feeling entirely. I saw the headless body of the hunter torn to pieces like it was happening all over again. And I couldn't do anything. Let's see where the camp is. 46 kilometers north of Gorinichi. Okay, let's go there. Okay. Slaughterhouse. Okay, needed assault rifle, knife, and flashlight. I have 7 AKs. I didn't know that. Wait, how many AKs do I have? I have 2 AKs. I only have 2 AKs. How does it say 7 AKs? Okay, maybe it's counting these weapons with it. I don't know. Yeah, 4 PPS 43s, 1 Papasha 41. Okay, that's 7. Yeah, that's how it's counting it. Alright, let's start the slaughterhouse quest, boys. The man going on the wolf hunt set up a temporary camp next to the burned out warehouse off the highway. Thick smoke rose from rusty barrels. The fighters sat on logs around the hot fire and hungrily devoured roasted potatoes and drank water from last tin mugs. Keep going. One older comrade sat cross-legged on a red oilcloth and laid out pieces of freshly fried fish on scraps of newspaper. I noticed Garilo nearby. He was gesticulating with a half-gone chicken bone, regaling the men around him with a tale from his turbulent adolescence. The men laughed, clutching their sides. The hunters were buoyed up, cheerful, even too cheerful, but they couldn't see how small the chance of survival was. They must have simply refused to entertain the possibility. God, fried potato into one. Let's keep going. I count 11 fighters. Nowhere near enough, but still it was virtually every adult man in Gorinichi. The only people left were women, children, old people, and two or three guys who had been seriously wounded in the last foray. Godfrey fish, keep going. 5 men were armed with assault rifles. The others had old sawn shotguns or double-barreled shotguns. As I recall, the automatic gunfire was effective against black holes, but single bullets don't bother them much. We had to hope that we weren't about to face a flashback. Gorilla saw me and stopped his storytelling, beckoning me over. Keep going. And here's our friend, the one I told you about. The former investigator introduced me to the others as took their hands. He's come all the way from tour, so he's got some fighting experience. He promised to help with the wolves. Have you actually seen the wolves we got around here? Normal wolves have got nothing on these beasts, said the fighter next to Gorilla, looking doubtfully at me. He wasn't a young man, he was tired, squinting eyes and heavily lined face. I've seen them before. I killed one in Moscow. One on one, the hunter repeated. The others looked over me with respect. Impressive. Around here we scavenge in groups of two or at least, and that's just for one she-wolf. Yuri, don't stir things up, the guy next to him said. It's bad enough as it is. We are just about to head out. Guerrilla said to me, if you have any questions, ask them now. Where's the she-wolf hiding? In an old slaughterhouse, 5 kilometers off the highway to Ziemitor. Wolf cubs were sighted there. Yuri replied, and 3 days ago all our people out there were killed. The wind hasn't changed in a long time, he added. We are going to approach the slaughterhouse from downwind. If it works and they don't catch our scent, we'll get there unnoticed. We'll take out the she-wolf and get the hell out of there. You're such an optimist, Yuri. Geralt laughed darkly. These creatures are blinking, but they'll sniff us out a mile away. Say what you want to, but they'd all come running to defend their mother. Okay, what's the plan? The plan is simple, don't die, replied one of the hunters, Grigore. Let's consider the worst case scenario, also known as the most likely scenario. Gerilla said, there is a whole pack of wolves around the slaughterhouse and we have got odorous smoke bombs. We'll take the beasts by surprise. We'll kill them all before they even know what hit them. We'll go into a building, find the she-wolf and take out fast. Keep going. The worst case scenario is that it gets the jump on us, Yuri muttered. But if we are really stuck, we have plan B, said Gorilla. There was a small suitcase on the ground between his feet and he gave it a solemn pat. Who's leading the squad? I am, and Yuri is helping, Geralt responded. And when it comes to wolves, we have the most experience, I suppose. Before Kirill was in charge of all operations, Yuri said gloomy. He was in Navy Special Forces. He was Navy Special Forces? Oh god. He must have been a tough guy. Nikita's stepfather. The one who didn't come back from Kiev. Keep going. You were there too. Maybe you saw the body, Geralt confirmed. He'd run out of cartridges. He couldn't retreat. So he went at the wolf with a knife. A knife, I recall the dead body with the bitten off hands. The hunters were silent for a moment, as a sign of respect for the dead. Any more questions? I don't have any more questions. I want to keep it professional and not ask questions like a kid. I know he's going to tell me when we get back. I'm sure about it. Then let's get started, Guerrilla said with a nod, jumping to his feet. Folks, no chit chat. We are moving out. The hunter scrambled to get ready. Do me a favor, would you? Guerrilla murmured, drawing me off to one side. I haven't seen Nikita in over an hour. Go get him. We should be on the other side of the highway. I'd go my side, but he won't talk to me. Why? He probably blames me for Kirill's death, his stepfather, Guerrilla said, and then I was the one who took him away from Kiev and stopped him from getting his revenge on the wolves. Will you do it? Okay, I'll find him. It wasn't difficult to find the guy. Nikita was sitting on a large stump and he was carving something out of a lump of tree bark. He showed no reaction to my order. He just continued carving. Guerrilla sent you? He asked me point blank when I got closer. He asked me to come get you, he's worried. Nikita frowned but said nothing. Guerrilla thinks that you hold him responsible for your step. That's death. That's none of your business. Who are you anyway? Nikita replied in irritation. If Gorilla wants something from me, he can come myself. He can come himself. He started thinking, still wielding the knife. I'll finish up and come back. Listen, I'm really sorry. You can take your heartfelt condolences and shove him, Nikita said, frowning. All of you, I'm sick of it. I suddenly remember Nikita in Kiev shooting the wolf with tears in his eyes. Oops, I don't know which one I clicked. Hey, you really think I want to talk about this with a complete stranger? Nikita snapped, dropping the knife and giving me a slurry, challenging look. Listen, I don't go poking my nose into your business, pal. You stay out of mine, and I'll say it again. If Garrett wants to jot, he can come himself and not send God knows who. Pretty knife, I haven't seen that one before. Pretty, Nikita sighed. My stepdad brought it back from Europe when he was even younger than I am now. He had it with him everywhere he went. You know, he slept under it, with it under his pillow. He even kept it when he went for swim. It always made me laugh. One time I hid the knife as a joke, and my stepfather beat me bloodily. He stuck the blade in one piece of wood and said, when your rifle misfires, when your grenade doesn't go off, when your friend runs, all you have left is your knife. This thing saved his life 3 times. Whoa. Those are some words of wisdom, you know. When your rifle misfires, when your grenade doesn't go off, when your friend runs, all you have left is your knife. Yeah. Knives have saved many people in combat, as far as I know. Who taught you to carve so well? My stepdad. When my mom died a long time ago, I was still in school. My stepdad made a wooden figurine of my mom dancing. She was a ballerina, and that's how I always remember her dancing. And he told me that when he was in the Navy, he made carvings of his parents, so he didn't miss them as much. But the figurine itself doesn't matter. It's the feeling you put into it as you carve it. Nikita turned the grinning wolf head in his hands. It didn't have eyes, Nikita laughed. You can carve something with love or hatred, which of it. Maybe you can still tell me what's bothering you. I know I'm a stranger, but I'll be gone soon. It will make you feel better to talk. Give it a try. Nikita hesitated at last. He set the knife and carving down. Then he rubbed his temples. Back in Kiev, my stepdad had run out of cartridges and he killed a wolf with his knife. But then Nikita's throat caught. Another beast attacked him from behind and bit his hand off. Ironic, right? He had a knife, but no hand to wield it. The wolf didn't even finish him off. It was going for Garridov, but my stepfather grabbed it with his arms and held it back. The wolf tore at him, but my stepdad held on until he bled out. If Seva had arrived 30 seconds later, the wolf would have got Garryolov too. I'm sorry about how it turned out, but what did Garryolov do wrong? He almost died too. Yet there was nothing he could have done. Nikita closed his eyes. All he had was the Makarov, and it's like a flea bite to those black holes. I don't know if he'd do what my stepdad did for him, but he is not to blame for his death. The blame lies somewhere else. Another who? Me. Why you? Nikita turned the carving in his hand, then he slashed at it with his knife. We shot one beast. The wolf was going to run away. My stepdad yelled for me to stop, but all I cared about was showing him that I was a tough guy too, that I could handle a wolf on one and injured to boot. I left the others far behind and chased after it, and what I had on me was our only assault rifle with a full magazine. I caught up with it and finished it off, but when I came back to the others, I saw my stepdad's body. Okay, it's not your fault anyway. Stop weeping now. Now it's my turn to say something, I said, watching the horizon. When I was traveling to Kiev, I met a good guy. He thought I was a bandit, so he tied me up and was planning to torture me, but then a wolf attacked him. A wolf that had followed me from all the way to Grants. It bit the guy's head off. Do you think I'm resorry for this man's death? It was terrible, and there was nothing I could have done. You couldn't have done anything else either. Don't you get it? It doesn't matter whether you could have done something or not. You're still responsible. I don't believe you. I don't believe that you sleep soundly at night after that. I didn't know what to say to him. Time to go. Nikita stood up. We'll kill these monsters. I'll last one of them, and then maybe it won't hurt so much. Alright, let's go. The small squad led by Garilov and Yuri was already waiting for us. When he saw Nikita, the investigator gave me a thumbs up, but I was lost in my own thoughts and didn't respond. Nikita's words were playing on my mind. I remembered the old hunter and Kalia and Sasha too. When all was said and done, I was solely responsible for what happened to them. When a person dies, the responsibility for the death falls upon you. There is no such thing as there was nothing I could do, especially if the person was someone you loved. Keep going. We finished our march about 300 meters from our destination. The wind hadn't changed. There had been no incidents on the road. Guerrilla sent the scouts up ahead. They came back within 15 minutes after consulting Yuri about something. Guerrilla called me over. Keep going. Listen carefully. There are 9 wolves near the slaughterhouse. 4 to the east, they are sleeping, and 5 to the south. They are up and alert. We'll take the brutes by surprise. He continued by splitting the squad into 2 groups. We'll attack simultaneously. The first group will throw smoke bombs at the 4 sleepers from behind cover and make Swiss cheese out of them. The other group will go around the 5 wolves from downwind, take up positions and open fire on the signal, and decide if you are going in the first group or the second group. But I said the first group is the less risky choice. The wolves will be asleep, but you are needed more in the second group. You are an old hand at these. And our guys aren't even professional hunters. For some of them, this is the first time they have had a gun, and they are afraid of wolves. Although he added, you shouldn't underestimate the sleeping wolves. Keep going. You're a little paranoid, Pavel. I always said it, Yuri chuckled. But seriously, why the hell are we splitting the squad? We can deal with the sleeping wolves in one go and then go up against the group of 5. It's not that complicated. Your clever strategizing isn't needed here. So what's the decision? Said the former investigator, returning to me. I'm going the first group against sleeping wolves. I think Yuri is right, What chance do 11 fighters stand against 11 wolves? Yes, what did I tell you? Yuri winked at Guerrilla, who scrolled. Maybe I'll listen to him. Alright, Yuri, you win. Guerrilla said tiredly, sighing. He paused. I hope that everything goes as quickly and smoothly as you said. Because if it doesn't, he just threw up his hand. It was settled. Keep going. The operation began, trying to move soundlessly. We approached the Slaughterhouse building. Then on Guerrilla's signal, the hunters ran behind the truck. The 4 wolves were sleeping very nearby, and on the other side of the truck body, we lit and tossed smoke bombs over the top of the truck. Clouds of foul-smelling smoke blossomed across the asphalt area in front of the slaughterhouse. Guerrilla gave the order to attack. Fight! Let's fight them all, boys! We ran around the truck and opened fire. 3 of us against each wolf, like Guerrilla told us. They didn't even know what hit him. It was all over in 30 seconds. We celebrated prematurely. Ah, damn, yelled Yuri, when the wolf that had been writhing on the ground a second ago lashed onto his partner's throat. Yuri fired a stream of bullets at the beast. It dropped with prey, knocked another hunter to the ground and sunk his claws into the guy's stomach. He fell screaming with pain and terror, trying in vain to hit the wolf on the head with his shotgun. Keep going. We raised up and stopped it. We hit Alex. Somebody shouted, he's dead already. Yuri barked. Shoot, got enemy behind you. Carrilla yelled at me suddenly. I turned around and saw a wolf leap out of the undergrowth. Then dodge and shoot. Guerrilla's warnings came true. We paid dearly for our mistake. Drawn by the sound of gunfire, the 5 wolves attacked us from behind. I reacted in this time, but judging by the blood-curdling screams, others hadn't been so lucky. Nikita was yelling beside me. A wolf had knocked into the ground. Guerrilla rushed to his aid and whacked the beast with his rifle. The wolf leapt off the victim with a growl and sank its claws into Guerrilla. They both went down. Yuri and I ran over and shot the wolf several times in the head. Keep going. All hell broke loose. The hunters went into a panic, running and firing without even aiming. The air shook with the constant gunfire. The roars, the moans, the screams of horror and pain. And though we won in the end, we lost 7 men and an 8th guerrilla would soon be joining them. We were 11 or 12 fighters and we lost 8 men. 4 fighters up against a she-wolf. What chance do they even stand? I don't think they are going to survive this. I don't think the character that we are playing as isn't going to make it out. But we have to be optimistic. Hopefully, some miracle will happen. Hopefully. Let's go up to him. The former investigator raised his eyes to mine and tried to smile. The layer of grim and blood on his face made the smile look eerie. Sorry, pal, but you will have to get to Site 7 to tell you what you want to know. If you survive this hunt, of course, keep going. Nikita walked up to us. Yuri was with him. One look at the injured man told him all he needed was to know there was no hope. Power dam was all he could get out. It's over for me, Yuri. Worry about the other ones who are injured and don't waste time. You have to finish the mission. Finish the mission? Yuri paled. Who is going to finish it? We have lost too many already. We are bandaging up the wounded and going back to Gorinichi. Yuri is right. If we don't leave now, all these people have died for nothing. While we are taking time to regroup, the wolves will descend on this place from all over. We need to kill the she-wolf right now. Yeah, we need to kill the she-wolf right now. You are right, the dying man whispered gratefully. Yuri, you can mourn later. Tell the boys to get ready. Redistribute the guns, gather up all the cartridges that are left. Pavel, but what if in the Slaughterhouse the she-wolf isn't alone? Yuri interrupted him, his voice tinged with anger. What if there are more wolves? He'll manage. You have to. You need to put an end to this. If you let them breed free, they'll massacre the whole village in revenge. Yeah, he's right. They'll massacre the entire village. We have to sacrifice a few men to save the entire village. I think the sacrifice is well worth it. Pavel, no, you can't. Yuri replied, I don't want to, I can't. Enough, Carlos said. He closed his eyes and he looked at me. Now you are in command in my place. Yuri, Nikita, do what he says. What, Yuri? Gasped Pavel. Are you serious? Garu didn't respond. Yuri scrawled at me, threw his hands up and walked away. Keep going. Garu strained himself to speak on, but the life was already leaving his body. Nikita, forgive me. Those were his last words. Forgive him. He saved me, Nikita said, breaking his grim silence. He saved me, even though he knew the wolf would kill him. Why would he do that? He's worth more to the squad than I am. He must have really felt guilty about you. But maybe, I added, he wanted to fulfill his debt to the stepfather who saved him in Kiev. I don't know. All I know is that he was a good man. May his soul rest in peace. Nikita looked at me in pain. I know that he died because of me, just like my stepfather, and now I have to live with that. I had no idea how to help him. The kid just got serious. The kid is going all crazy, blaming himself for everything that happened. Let's go back to the injured. Against all expectations, Yuri fulfilled every one of Guerrilla's orders. Luckily, no one was seriously injured among the survivors, but everyone was wounded in one way or another. The massively depleted squad was waiting for me, and Nikita. Yuri was conversing in whispers with another hunter, Grigorov. We await your command, he said coldly when he saw me. I just remember that you are responsible for all of us now, every one of us, and if something goes wrong, it will be on you. Yuri shut it, Nikita snapped at him. We all looked at the kid in surprise. Keep going. An oppressive silence hung in the air. What's that? I asked, hoping to defuse the situation, pointing at the small suitcase behind Yuri. I had already seen the case in Guerrilla's hands. Plan B. If our guns aren't enough to take down the she-wolf, just so you know, we don't have much ammo left. Proceed into the slaughterhouse. We couldn't get inside the building via the main entrance. That part of the structure had collapsed. But the meat loading gate was blocked off too. Even after we'd broken the lock, the hinges just wouldn't budge. There's another way in. One of them spoke up. The slaughterhouse corridor, that's where the livestock would go down before we, go towards the slaughterhouse corridor. Okay, 4 men in total, as you can see in the picture here. There was nothing else to do. So we went around the slaughterhouse from the other side and entered the dark, tapering tunnel from one after another. I used to work there at the exit, Hunter whispered grimly. I never thought that one day it would be me walking towards the light. The hair on my arm stood up. I don't think I was the only one. Move forward. Keep moving forward. Despite the bad feeling in my gut, we made it through the slaughterhouse corridor with no problems. We emerged into a spacious room with a sticky soil floor and dirty reddish brown walls, metal grill structures limbed along the walls and terrifying hooks dangled above them. Next to a platform standing on slaughtering tools had been abandoned haphazardly, and farther on we saw an entire mound of bones with a human skull along them. Oh God. Keep moving. Keep going, we don't have much time, I spurred the hunters on. We were surrounded by gloom and silence after some solitary shafts of light filtered through the few tiny windows. The slaughterhouse seemed to be completely deserted. But when we reached the room that held the vats for bleeding the slaughtered animals, Nikita stopped. Shh, do you hear that? Listen closely. Somewhere in the corridors, drops of water were beating rhythmically off the concrete floor from the wide archway up ahead. A barely audible scrape reached our ears. Was past that archway? I asked the former butcher. The AVC creation room, where you move the entrance and split the carcass. Past that is the old storage, where the she wolf is probably somewhere around there. There is no guarantee it will be alone. This secretion room, is it big? Long and narrow, the butcher replied. We'll have to go in single file, and there aren't any windows. Turn on your lights. I ordered the rest. Have your weapons ready. Take the riskiest position and go in through the archway first. Let the butcher go ahead of you and bring up the rear. This isn't as risky as going the first. I'm going to go with the second option, as the butcher knows the slaughterhouse well, and I don't want to get killed, to be honest. It truly was pitch black beyond the archway. Our flashlights revealed sharpened hooks below the ceiling, huge steel cabinets, pipes sneaking across the floor, platforms, vats, and strange evil-looking machinery. I didn't know the name of the wall and floor were dark with dried bloodstains. Oh God, Grigory whispered. He stopped in our tracks. Keep going. The scene before us was the stuff of nightmares. Gaunt corpses lay along the walls. They were fresh, rot, hadn't even set in. Some only had the head intact. Below the chin, the spinal column gleamed white in the gloom. That's Misha, Andre. Grigory's voice wavered traitorously. Sergei Chernovich. These are our guys. They were so close, and his words were drowned by a tribal growl. This really seems like the stuff of nightmares, Head intact, below the chin, the spinal column gleamed white in the gloom. Really bad. Very horrible. I just saw the wolf launch itself into the air, then its merciless jaws closed around the butcher's head. If I had gone first, it would have been me. Oh, it's nice I didn't go first. Rest in peace, butcher. Keep going. There they are, Grigory yelled, firing off a round from his shotgun and almost catching me in the shoulder. I see them now, two wolves, not overly big but still deadly, were sneaking up from behind, on me from behind. After the gunshot, they halted and bared their teeth. They were both unharmed. Grigory had missed. Somewhere up ahead, I heard a blood-curdling scream. It died away in an instant, accompanied by a short burst of automatic gunfire. Fired the wolves. I shot the first wolf in the head, but the second, which was older, didn't react to the bullets at all. It hopped back, and then went for Grigory instead. Surprise, surprise, you filthy animal, the butcher yelled, tossing his shotgun aside. In the flashes of gunfire, I caught sight of a grenade and Grigory put the pen. Somewhere up ahead, Nikita screamed, and that's when the wolf leapt at Grigory. The grenade explosion blasted Hunter and beast to pieces. I was thrown backwards into a wall. Disease, injuries, concussion. Okay, hopefully that's manageable. Keep going. Hopefully the concussion doesn't get us killed further up in the game. I pushed myself up with difficulty, and I realized that it was all over. It was dark and silent as the grave. I raised my flashlight and looked around. Nikita was badly wounded, sitting next to a steel barrel a few paces away from me. The others were all dead. Keep going. Protecting their mother, the wolves fought to the last drop of blood. But the she-wolf wasn't in the evacuation room at all, dead or alive. It got away, it was all for nothing. Nikita gripped his head in powerless rage. Wait, look, I pointed at the archway leading to the cold storage. In the beam of my flashlight, we saw a small black wolf cub that quickly darted back into the darkness. Keep going. It wouldn't leave the cubs, I said, trying to inject some confidence into my voice. That means it's in the cold storage. The back gate is blocked. It's trapped. As if to confirm my words, a piercing whine came from the archway. Let's kill it now. Hang back, Nikita said, shaking his water. You going to create with I have almost not of ammo. Have you checked the guns on the casualties? Yeah, same with together with a 10mm. There was in Gorinichi double barrel shotguns, a double barrel shotgun against the she-wolf. There are only two of us. His careless suitcase, I remembered. Is that his plan B? The suitcase was lying near the former butcher's body. Bring the suitcase and open it. No, it's not a bulletproof vest, Nikita said. After a pause, it's packed with plastic explosives. You put it on, you go up to a she-wolf and pull the cord. The words hung in the air. I closed the suitcase. Let's try and think. There must be another way. I got. We are the only two left. The she-wolf will rip us apart in seconds. Keep going. One of us is going to have to sacrifice themselves. Put the vest on, go into the cold storage where the she-wolf is nearby. Pull the cord. Nikita said, keep going. He was waiting for my decision since I was the commander still, but I didn't know what to say. Sure, now my decisions had life and death consequences for people, but now I faced a more horrifying prospect, deciding which one of the two is which of the two of us is condemned to certain death. I thought of the decapitated hunter again. Back then, I didn't have a choice. Then I thought of Pavel Gorilla, Yuri the butcher, and the others who had died during the hunt. I had made a choice, but I could only guess at the consequences of it. But this was completely different. You are going, bro. Nikita smiled. Yes, this is the right way. For my stepdad, for Guerrero. He started putting on the vest. Keep going. What do you think? Nikita asked suddenly. Is there something there? What are you talking about? I said, not understanding him. You know there, beyond the line. What you know what I think? Otters out there, I bet there's no epidemic or radiation of black man eating wolves. I bet things are good there. In heaven. Yeah, bro, you'll rest in peace. Let's keep going. Aren't you afraid? I asked. No, I'm not. My only regret is not telling Tanya, the girl from Gorinichi, that I think that she is amazing. Nikita smiled and set off towards the archway. Wait. We didn't have to wait for long. Within 10 seconds, the terrible whining behind the archway had increased, and then a boom came from the cold storage section, making the ground quake beneath our feet. For a second, I thought the ceiling was about to cave in, but the shaking stopped. An oppressive silence settled on us. Nikita had done it. I released the breath I had been holding and stood up. Then the she-wolf appeared from the midnight blue archway. Keep going. The creature standing before me in the faint, flickering beam of the flashlight bore only a vague resemblance to an ordinary wolf. The she-wolf didn't have any fur or hair. His grotesque swollen body was entirely covered in horrific swellings and blisters that took weeping past, and a horrible yellow liquid dripped from his maw and eyes. Jesus Christ, it's disgusting. Let's keep going. The she-wolf was simply massive, much larger than any of our cows. Its entire right side, the muscles, ribs, and internal organs had been blown completely open by the explosion. It dragged its back leg behind it, whining horribly, leaving a trail of blood and slime. But despite all its injuries, it still looked capable of defending itself. Dude, it looks horrible. Let's see here. Let's choose our weapons really carefully. I think we have already chosen the best weapons. Our wolf is coming with us too. We are alone, and with the concussion, she has 1,000 HP on her. No one is coming for us to save us, to help us. Bleeding, damage for 2 turns. Okay, I'm going to go here and I'm going to start firing on it. Rage. It has rage. Oh god. It has rage. Plus 10 damage each time opponent attacks character. And I'm going to save my last action point up. Oh god. It got the wolf in the counter attack? Please no. Oh hell no. I'm going to move away. Fire my AK on it from the distance. Okay, concussion. Okay. Hopefully nothing bad happens to me. Oh nice, that thing is missing. Is it blind? Chance of miss plus 20%, dodge chance 5%. Okay, so I only have 5% dodge chance. I'm going to move back. open up on that thing. Oh no, it bit me. Christ. I don't think I'm making out of this in one piece. If I don't, I'm going to cut the video feed. Retry. With my grenades. No, I didn't make it. Welcome back, guys. I have got my grenades this time. Hopefully my grenades can deal with it. I'm going to move back for now. It has 1000 health points. That's a lot for me at this stage. I'm going to go up here, grenade it, and shoot it up with my AK. I have 8 grenades. Hopefully that's enough to kill this thing. It looks like it has come from straight from hell, It's here straight from hell. Just grenading it. Okay. I'm going to shoot it up with my AK. Okay, there we go, nearly at 50% HP. I'm going to move back. I'll keep my wolf there. Hopefully it doesn't get the wolf. Nice, I'm going to grenade it. There we go. It's working. It's working. Now stay there, wolf. Stay there, Mr. Wolf. I'm going to go up here, grenade it. Okay, there we go. I'm in no mood of getting my wolf killed, so I'm just going to let him be there. I bought him in this fight so he can gain some XP, I'm going to move up here. So next turn I'm going to fire my AK on it and maybe run away. Okay, let's fire the AK. Oh no, I missed. I need to run now. Let's go here, bite this thing up. We got a wolf killed, but it's okay. At least it lowered its HP. Okay, let's go here. Let's grenade it. I'm not going to take my chances on this thing again. There we go, boys. We got it finally. The monster clung on to life till the very end. The she-wolf find trying to bite me, refusing to die, but only when I had turned my enemy into a shapeless bloody mass did its legs give away. And this real-life nightmare, a monster brought by radiation, dashed its last breath. Not wasting any time, I went to the cold storage. As I had hoped, the whole litter of wolf clubs, just short of a dozen, had perished in the explosion. The deed was done. Keep going. There we go, boys. We leveled up. 500 XP. Oh, we can make the new armor. Nice. Let's resume. Which one should I take? Transport speed? Search speed? I'm going to take the transport speed. Okay, concussion. What are the effects? Okay, I'm not going to waste a painkiller on it as I'm not fighting anything right now. Let's read the note. Note number 57. The she-wolf is dead, but we had to pay a high price for her life. When I got to Slaughterhouse, I saw the bodies of Geralda and the others. They needed to be buried, but there were so few of us, and the survivors could appear at any minute. An hour later, we were already heading back to Gorinichi. A giant pyre burned behind us, devouring the bodies of the brave warriors who had given their lives for their families and friends. Okay, we have to go back to Gorinichi now. We got 2 assault rifle shells. But before going back to Gorinichi and seeing what the apocalypse has done, I am going to call it a video right here. Thank you for coming along with me on this journey of day survival. Next video we are going to see what is the story of the old man. Hopefully he can tell us what happened to everyone. But if you like my content, subscribe and be sure to leave a comment down below. See you guys next time.